Okay, so we're going to go live again. I'm going to wait for it to go live first. Yes, that might help, mightn't it? I was a little bit excited. And I know I'm a few minutes late, but I wanted to get on early today to talk about something that I absolutely love talking about. Let's just let's just go to the group, make sure that I'm in live. I'm going in my personal page again, as you can obviously tell. There we go. Basically, because still we just can't figure out how to get live streaming going through the groups anymore. We can do it through business pages, but it's not really what I want to do. So until we can work out what's going on, we're going to be sending, our lives through the personal feed, personal page, and sharing them to our group pages. Okay. So just until we fix this, we let you know that we've fixed it for sure. I thought I had last week. Just make note that the lives at the moment will be coming through my personal page. Okay, so if you come in today, make sure that you let me know you're here. Just say hi and give me a wave. And if you've got any questions, pop them into the chat. That's why we do this live, not as a training video. We try and do them live so then we can actually talk with you in the moment about what's going on and answer any questions. Today's topic is cultivating resilience, a really significant topic that I talk about a lot with my clients. So my coaching clients come in to work with me to live courageously. Okay, so resilience is a big part of that, and learning how to cultivate it is in my opinion essential. But I wanted to talk about the difference, because I'm finding that when people sometimes talk about resilience or think about resilience, they see it in a certain light and don't go as deep as possibly what they need to. And the strategies that I've put in here in particular talks about how to bounce back from challenges. So when we're living courageously, or when we're, really wanting more, to achieve more and have that success in business and in life, we are going to come against many challenges, our own personal challenges, our limiting beliefs, or, our environment, or the people around us, or skill sets, or, whatever it might be. There are going to be plenty of challenges in that moment and ongoing. What we can do, though, is learn strategies, learn ways of um, cultivating a higher level of resilience. So, in particular, when I talk about resilience, I'm going to take us over to the document. Okay, so this guide came through on Tuesday in our freebie day. So, if you missed this freebie, then you need to reach out. You'd raise your hands in the comments, either here in the chat or in the replay in the comments, and we'll get that out to you. Just a reminder that our weekly freebies only stay up till kind of Friday, if you know what I mean. So it's the Tuesday to the Friday. So if you're wanting the document and you haven't received it, didn't raise your hands, whatever happened, that's kind of the time frame when you need to make sure that you're letting us know that you do still want it. So I talked about this, and I'm running an event tonight, and we'll pop some details in about that. It's the embracing uncertainty, finding strengths in times of change. Resilience is a big part of sort of embracing that unknown, embracing the uncertainty, finding that strength in times of change. Resilience is a big part of it. That's why we're working on this document. And last week we worked on the embracing uncertainty document. So a little bit with uncertainty, it's inherent in life. It's that thing, yeah, that we're just, it's going to happen. Well, unless you live in a bubble, or you live, I don't know really. Because, I think anywhere you are in life, whatever you're doing, you're going to be facing challenges. You're going to be facing, things that maybe were unexpected. So this is exactly the same when it comes to uncertainty or things unknown or change. It's the same thing here, guys, that we know that there are going to be challenges. And we know that the difference is going to be in how you respond to those challenges. So how you bounce back. So I just wanted to start with that because I think, we often keep kind of fighting against something or not doing the work required in something when we know it's a part of life. Wouldn't it be so much easier if we actually started to work on it? Okay. So, in the area of resilience, it's things like adversity, overcoming obstacles, thriving in the face of difficulties, um, you know, times of change. It could be in employment, in relationships, in health, in a worldwide pandemic. So there's lots of things going on and turning around us all the time. But the resilience that I'm particularly talking about in here, this level of resilience I'm talking about, because I think generally most of us are fairly resilient. But the biggest difference that the area, the depth that I go in when I work with my the women in my coaching programs is that resilience is not so much how you immediately respond, it's the lessons that you take from it. So it's the lessons that you learn and take from it. Okay. So rather than seeing them as failures or hiccups or, now it's not going to plan or, however immediately you might respond to that. You know what's funny? Oh, I'm going to sneeze again. That's 2 weeks in a row when I've come on, I've had to sneeze. How funny is that? That time nothing came out, I just did the actions. Anyway, so, it's not so much, it's important, but it's not so much necessarily how you immediately respond. It's the lessons that you take from it and then implement. All right, then implement. Not failures, not criticisms, not judgment, not comparison. It's about, facing that challenge, then how you bounce back is what you take from that and implement to um now I'm just oh, I do apologize. So I'm thinking that something might have just gone up my nose and then into my throat. This is about the worst nightmare that can occur when you're doing something live. This is so funny. Not just that, what I do like about this, though, inadvertently, I think I'm demonstrating resilience. So I'm happy to oblige. Maybe next time, though, it doesn't happen so drastically. Anyway, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Stay on board. Stay on board. Okay, so resilience. Resilience is the learnings. It's what you take from the bounce back. Yeah, the bounce back. All right, let's go through the document. My absolute apologies for whatever happened just then. But I love the fact it's kind of relevant to the topic that we're talking about. Okay, so understanding resilience and its benefits. We all have the ability, as we know, to choose how we think about something. So our mindset of how we approach something, how we then react to something, and then how we learn about something or from something. So, the benefits that you take from the challenge or from whatever has occurred, the change or whatever has occurred, it's understanding the benefits from it rather than going into a place of anxiety, stress, overwhelm, all those negative sort of emotions that we may choose to go to. We have a choice to look at the benefits, to pull out the benefit. Optimism is probably something that often a lot of people may refer to. This is a technique that I've learned very early on in life. Like, whatever I'm kind of hit with, whatever challenge comes up for me, I immediately make a decision to find the benefits, to find the learnings from that, and then create the resourcefulness, then create, what needs to happen to move forward and move on. So we want to understand resilience from a place of the benefits. We also want to build a strong support network. So, cultivating something. So it might be resilience, it might be courage, it might be coping strategies. Coping strategies could be anything. But when we're talking about cultivating resilience, we have to look around the people that we have supporting us in being resilient. So if you are hanging around people that, overreact or don't react well, or choose to stay in a place of victim, to, not be resourceful and resilient and bounce back and just move on and find the benefits, then you need to, in my opinion, move into a supportive surrounding network that do all those things. So we know for a fact that the people that we surround ourselves around, the people that we choose to be around, affect how we think, how we act, our habits, our behaviors, the courage that we have, the success that we have. So it's the same with resilience. Try and find people that you can hang around that demonstrate resilience, and not just because of their resourcefulness in the moment, but from the learnings that they then choose to implement moving forward. Okay. So build a strong supportive network. Cultivating a growth mindset. This is always really important. Obviously, the more work that we do in our growth mindset, in our mindset, so the more work that we do in understanding, we have the choice to shift how we think about things, and we learn more, we educate ourselves more, we push ourselves more. We've got that want to do better, all those things. The more that you put yourself in that kind of way of life, obviously the more resilient you'll be. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Because you're learning all these strategies and these tips and learning more about you. You're creating a higher way of living. Your resilience will just lift up with you. Okay. So cultivating a growth mindset. Developing emotional intelligence. This is a really important one. So, this is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions and those of others. Having this emotional intelligence is definitely two-way. So, we can externally have emotional awareness or intelligence, but we first of all need to have internal emotional intelligence. Now, how we do that is by creating times of reflection, times of awareness, giving ourselves mindfulness moments where we can actually look within and ask those important questions about ourselves, get to know how we're acting, how we're behaving, what triggers us, all that sort of thing. There's lots of processes and exercises and practices that you can do to enable this to be developed. Think about yourself, your own emotional intelligence, and this includes boundaries. Okay, so boundaries is a big one that falls in here. Then you can very much focus more on the external emotional intelligence of others and how you relate to those. You've got a better understanding of yourself, you've got your own boundaries, and therefore you're going to be really clear on who should be the right people around you, and then how you can, respond to them in a way that shows that you respect their boundaries at the same time. All right. Number 5, I'm having it's hysterical. I've not had any sniffles, nothing all morning, nothing, absolutely nothing. Now it's all kind of coming ahead. Maybe it's because I'm just so excited about the topic. Number 5, practicing self-care and well-being. So if you follow me at all, if you watch any of my lives, and particularly if you're one of my clients, you would know how much work that I do and support the women that I work with in self-care and well-being. So resilience is always easier to embrace and cultivate if you've got self-love, self-compassion, and you're caring for yourself at that deep level, because you know how important you are. You know that you're enough, right? So for you to be able to bounce back from challenges and not bow down to them, it's going to be a lot easier. You're going to be far more resilient if you've got that self-love. And self-love is self-care. So it's always incredibly important to make sure that you are in a place of self-care, self-compassion, and you're giving yourself that self-care. Resilience is, as I said before, it's quite easy. I come across a lot of challenges, And some of them are hard. Some of them I've got to dig really deep, yeah, particularly around my health. But most of them, it's really quite easy. And I say that with respect because I spend a lot of time looking after myself. I spend a lot of time giving myself time. And I sort of, I then have that ability, that energy, that want, that love, where if something does happen, often I can pretty much just move on pretty quickly. I can bounce back pretty quickly. It's a good place to be in. If I didn't care for myself and do all the work that I do on myself in this level of, self-care and well-being, I don't know whether I would be able to. So, one of the things that maybe you need to look at if you're not finding you're resilient or you want to cultivate more resilience is start looking after yourself better. Okay, start looking after yourself better. Number 6, have I got a number 6? Yes, is cultivating optimism, if I can say it, and positive thinking. So, nothing is more powerful than working on your positive mindset. It's like a must. If you choose to stay in a negative mindset, bouncing back from challenges in life is going to be tough because you're probably not going to lean towards the optimism or learning more, learning from it and growing from it and all those really wonderful things that can occur. You're because you're in a very negative state. Your mind's in a negative state, your emotions are in a negative state, and you're probably hanging around really negative people. So it's pretty important to work on your mindset, on your positive thinking. Now, that can be things like affirmations, gratitude work, journaling, morning practices, self-reflection at night. There are so many things that you can do to create a positive mindset. If you choose to stay in that negative thinking mindset, then no complaining when the challenges hit you head on, because you've got the ability, like everybody's got the same ability to work on and choose to have a positive mindset. So, good place to start. Yeah. All right. Developing problem solving skills. This, I absolutely like. I love this, right? And I'm sure that my clients are like, every time I do it. We often, we do 2 group calls a week and one-on-one work, and you name it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in my coaching programs because they're for women that want to live courageously. So, of course, there is. But one of the things that I often say when I'm kind of getting this resistance or this negative kind of way of looking at something or inability to break through something is I say to them often, do you want to live above the line or below the line? Do you want to live in cause or effect? Do you want to keep staying in a problem environment and not find the solution? And we have to stop necessarily looking externally for the answers to be given to us. We've got to find them ourselves. So particularly in my coaching work that I do, I don't hand people the answers. You could go and probably Google that and get that and download it off the site. What I do is get people understanding their own power, their own wisdom, their own ability, and to find that ability and do something with it. So find the solutions to your problems. You've got the answers, no one else. That kind of mentality of thinking. All right, number 8, practicing mindfulness and stress management. Again, mindfulness is just such a powerful way of learning how to build resilience and really be in that kind of present moment. I've said before, it's one of my favorite quotes is live in the moment, which I've got written on the back of my neck, which, I really love that way of thinking because we've always, it's only that one moment. We've got the choice to change it 1 second to the next. Yeah. And this stress management is a big part of what I'm working on at the moment with my clients. I must admit, I'm finding, the world's movement and the energy around us, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of stress in energy in the world at the moment. So I'm doing a lot of work in stress management and supporting my coaching clients on strategies of how they can, reduce stress, which is linked to anxiety and negative emotions and behavior and health. It's all part of parcel. So even in the masterclass tonight, I'm slightly referring to stress management, and particularly on the masterclass that I'm running on the 23rd, which is our day masterclass, I'm doing a whole session in conquering fear by reducing stress. All right, it's a very big component of negatively affecting a lot of things, and one of them is being resilient, in my opinion. Okay, number 9, cultivating flexibility and adaptability. This is something that the most people kind of refer to. I asked this question in my group call on Tuesday with the women, and I said, well, how can you demonstrate, what does embracing uncertainty mean to you? Like, what do you do? How can you show that you embrace uncertainty? And the majority of them put adaptable, flexible. And that is part of resilience. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the areas we're talking about here. That's how you cultivate it, by being more flexible and adaptable. But just remember that resilience is so much more, and embracing uncertainty is so much more. So explore all of these strategies, all of these suggestions, rather than necessarily just going to the most obvious. Because if we're just continually adaptable and flexible, we're not broadening our learning experience. And challenges change, things change. Sometimes it's a little challenge you bounce back from, sometimes it can be massive. So we've got to not just be adaptable and flexible. We need to have all these other things that we know about and that we're working on and we're growing and we can grab out of the toolbox when needed. So again, thank you for being here today. I hope that you enjoy this document on resilience, cultivating resilience. Again, if you want a copy, just raise your hands in the comments below and we'll get it out to you. We're also going to pop in the link to the mini masterclass tonight at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, that masterclass is just a 60-minute masterclass focused on the area of embracing uncertainty. Resilience is one of those areas that we're going to talk about, but we're going to dive deep into 2 or 3 of the other strategies and the other things that we want to think about. And I'm going to be running some beautiful processes and exercises as well. Thanks, Bev, for dropping that in. So Bev's just dropped in the link to the masterclass tonight. Bev, I don't know if you saw what happened before, but it was very hysterical. And I'm sure that you and Dee are probably going to have a huge laugh about it, and possibly a lot of women out there. So I'm hoping that I gave you a bit of a laugh this afternoon. But again, like I said, I'm happy to be the example. And I did show you the example of being resilient when you're live and can't speak. So on another note, as I said, we've got the event tonight, and then tomorrow we're opening up registrations for our day masterclass on the 23rd of May. So that's tomorrow. June. So that's tomorrow. So keep an eye out tomorrow. Our details are going to be changing on our sites. There's going to be information about how to register. This is a free event. It's going to be an amazing experience because we're going to be conquering fear. So it's a fearless journey, and it's going to be an amazing journey. So again, thank you for being here. Reminder that our lives are 1 p.m. every Thursday, where I talk about the document that we drop in on Tuesday. And it really does talk a lot about the topic that I'm talking about in the month. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. So I'll speak to you real soon. Hope to see you tonight at the masterclass. If not, I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.